Have you ever hugged a woman and instantly felt like something was missing? Like she pulled away too quickly, or the moment just didn't land the way you hoped? Maybe she smiled politely, but deep down you knew there was no spark. Here's the truth most men never hear. It's not about how strong your arms are. It's about the energy you carry, the intention behind the hug, and the emotional presence you bring in that split second of closeness. You see, in a world where people are constantly touching but rarely connecting, a well-timed, deeply felt hug can say more than any words ever could. And if you do it right, she won't just remember it. She'll feel it, long after it ends. This isn't about being smooth, it's about being stoic, in the true powerful sense of the word. Grounded, calm, confident. A man who knows how to listen, not just with ears, but with his presence. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to master the art of the hug, the kind that leaves her thinking about you all day. Because when you understand what your hug truly communicates, you'll never go unnoticed again. Let's dive in. Part 1. Why a hug is more than just a hug. Let's start here with what most men completely overlook. A hug is not just a hug. It's not just a way to say hello or goodbye. It's not just a physical gesture. It's an emotional language. And if you don't understand what it's saying, you'll miss every opportunity it offers. Think about it. Before we could speak as babies, how did we communicate with our mothers, with our caregivers? Through touch, through that gentle, warm embrace that told us, you're safe, you're loved. That never really goes away. Even as adults, we still crave that kind of connection. But here's where it gets tricky. Most people are starved for genuine connection, yet completely clueless about how to create it. That's why so many hugs today feel empty, rushed, awkward, mechanical. You've felt it before when you hug someone and it's like you're hugging a mannequin. No emotion, no presence, just two bodies touching, but hearts completely disconnected. Now flip the script. Have you ever been hugged by someone who was really present with you in that moment? They didn't rush it, they didn't squeeze too tight or pat your back like they were clocking out early. They just held you, calmly, warmly, like they weren't afraid to feel. It's different, right? You feel seen, you feel grounded. That's what women remember. And here's the truth. Women are incredibly sensitive to energy. They don't just feel your arms around them, they feel your intention, your presence, your confidence, or your nervousness. Let me give you a real-world example. Imagine you're seeing someone you like and she opens her arms to hug you. Now you have two options. Option 1, you go in too quickly, you overthink, you pat her back like a bro and your mind is racing. Do I smell okay? Is this too long? Should I let go now? Boom, moment lost. Option 2, you take a slow breath. You move in calmly, gently. You hold her for just a second longer than expected. Not too long to be awkward, but just long enough to show I see you. I'm here. You matter. And you let go without rushing. Now that is a hug she'll remember. Stoicism teaches us not to be cold, but to be calm. To act with intention, not impulse. That's exactly what hugging like a pro requires. Emotional control paired with emotional presence. You don't need to be charming. You don't need a perfect pickup line. You just need to show up fully in that one small moment. Because that's what creates emotional safety. That's what makes her think about you. Not because of what you said, but because of how you made her feel. So if you've ever wondered why a woman didn't text back after that hug, or why the spark seemed to fizzle, maybe it's time to stop asking what she did wrong and start asking what kind of energy you brought to the table. And it all begins with this. Don't just hug her. Connect. Part 2. Common hugging mistakes men make and how to fix them. Alright, now that you understand how powerful a hug can be, let's talk about the mistakes that kill the moment before it even starts. Because let's be real, most men aren't bad at hugging because they don't care. They're bad at it because no one ever told them how important it is or what they're doing wrong. So let's fix that right now. Mistake number 1. Hugging like a robot. You walk in, you throw your arms around her, your body's stiff, your hands hover awkwardly. You pat her on the back like she's your coworker who just got promoted. That's not a hug. That's a transaction. When you hug a woman and your body is tense, mechanical, or too formal, she'll instantly sense that something's off. It tells her, I'm not comfortable being close to you. And if you're not comfortable, why should she be? Fix it. Loosen up. Breathe before you go in. Relax your shoulders. Let your hands rest naturally. The more at ease you are, the safer she will feel. Mistake 2. Overthinking every move. So how long should I hold this hug? Do I squeeze? Is this too long? What if she pulls away first? You know what that sounds like? Anxiety. And you're not hiding it as well as you think. When you overthink every micro movement, you disconnect from the moment. And worse, you stop feeling and you start calculating. Fix it. Presence over perfection. Women don't want a perfect hug, they want a real one. Tune into her energy, mirror her, let go of the checklist in your head and actually feel the moment. Mistake number 3. Rushing it. This one happens all the time. You hug her for half a second and back out like you're afraid of overstaying your welcome. But guess what? When you pull away too fast, you communicate fear. Fear of intimacy, fear of being seen, and that creates emotional distance, even if your bodies were just close. Fix it. Don't rush. Hold her just a second longer than expected, just enough for her to feel your presence. That pause, that one extra second, it's magic. Mistake number 4, making it about you. Some men hug with an agenda. They're trying to impress, to escalate, or to prove something. And women can feel that too. It comes off as needy, even desperate. She'll feel like an object, not a person. And when that happens, trust is broken before it ever begins. Fix it. Hug without expecting anything in return. Give the hug not to get something, but to give something. Your calm energy, your attention, your presence. Now listen, if you've made these mistakes before, don't beat yourself up. We all have. I did for years. But the difference between men who stay stuck and those who grow is awareness. When you know what's not working, you can start doing what does. And remember, Stoicism isn't about shutting down your emotions. It's about mastering them so you can show up with clarity, with strength, and with real connection. So, next time you go in for that hug, don't just think about what you'll feel physically. Think about what you'll feel emotionally, because that's what lingers. That's what makes her think about you all day. Part 3. The types of hugs and what they mean. So now that you understand the importance of presence and the mistakes to avoid, let's dive into the heart of connection, the types of hugs you'll experience and what they really mean. Because not all hugs are created equal. Some are purely platonic, some are hesitant, some are invitations, and a few are unforgettable. But here's the key. If you can recognize what each type of hug is saying, you can respond in a way that builds emotional intimacy instead of leaving her confused or distant. Let's break them down, one by one. Type 1, the friendly pat hug. This is the classic, hey buddy hug. Quick, polite, usually comes with a few pats on the back. It's like she's saying, we're cool, but don't read too much into this. Now, here's the mistake most guys make. They instantly interpret this as rejection. She only sees me as a friend. I've already lost. But that's not necessarily true. What this hug really means, she may just be testing the waters, or she's still feeling safe around you without jumping to romance. What you should do, don't retreat. Instead, hold the hug just half a second longer than she expects. Not in a creepy way, but in a calm, confident way that says, I'm not rushing this connection. Smile at her afterward. Maintain eye contact. Let her feel your grounded energy. What you're doing here is opening a door without pushing through it. Sometimes that's all it takes for her to start seeing you differently. Stoic tip. You're not attached to the outcome. You're showing up fully without demanding anything. Type 2. The slightly longer comfort hug. This hug lasts a little longer than the first type. There's still space between your bodies, but her arms wrap a little tighter. There's intention, but not yet intimacy. She might give you this hug after a meaningful conversation. Maybe she's feeling emotional, or maybe she just appreciates your presence. What this hug really means, she feels safe around you. That's a big deal. But it doesn't necessarily mean she's romantically interested yet. It means she's opening a little. What you should do: match her energy, hold her just slightly longer. Maybe place a hand gently on her back. Afterward, speak with warmth and clarity. This is your chance to create emotional resonance, the feeling that being around you is calm, grounded, and safe. Stoic tip: emotional mastery means not rushing in. Let her energy guide the pace. Type 3. The lingering hug. Now we're entering a different realm. This isn't a friend zone hug. This is the kind of hug that lasts just a little too long to be casual. And she knows it, so do you. There's warmth in the way she leans into you. Her body relaxes a bit, her breathing slows, she's not trying to pull away. What this hug really means, she's signaling trust, comfort, maybe even curiosity about you emotionally. And maybe she doesn't even realize how much that moment is affecting her. But trust me, she feels it. What you should do: let her lead, but don't let go too quickly. Use soft physical cues, a light squeeze of the shoulder, a calm exhale, maybe even a slight hand press on her back. Don't speak. Don't break the moment with a joke or a comment. Let silence speak. This moment isn't about words, it's about energy. Stoic tip: stillness is your power. You're not doing anything. You're simply being. And that's magnetic. Type 4. The full-body intimate hug. This is the hug where she melts into you. Her head may rest on your shoulder or chest. There's little to no space between your bodies. She holds you tighter. Her breathing syncs with yours. This is not a casual hug. What this hug really means: she feels deeply safe. She trusts you. And most likely, she's emotionally connected to you or ready to be. This kind of hug comes after emotionally charged moments, a vulnerable conversation, a reunion, a goodbye, or a moment of deep honesty. What you should do: do not pull away. Lean into her, not just physically but emotionally. Let her feel your stability, your warmth, and your patience. If she nestles in closer or lingers longer, don't rush it. Gently stroke her back or simply hold her without moving. Create stillness, create safety. Stoic tip: true strength is silent. You don't need to impress her, you need to be present with her. That's all. Type 5. The mixed signal hug. This one's tricky. It might feel warm at first, but then she pulls away quickly. Or maybe her body leans in, but her arms stay limp. It's inconsistent and it leaves you confused. What this hug really means: she's uncertain. She might be emotionally overwhelmed or unsure about how she feels toward you. What you should do: don't force anything. Don't analyze it to death. Stay calm, grounded, and present. Let her come to clarity in her own time. If you stay emotionally steady, you give her room to feel safe and figure things out. Stoic tip: you're not defined by her confusion. Stay in control of your own energy, putting it all together. So here's the big takeaway. Every hug tells a story, and if you're paying attention, not just to her body but to her energy, you'll know exactly how to respond. And responding well, that's what makes you unforgettable. Let's walk through a quick example. You're seeing a woman you've been texting for weeks. This is your second in-person meet. The conversation is flowing. She laughs at your jokes. At the end of the night, she leans in for a hug. Now pause. You have a split second to choose what kind of energy you bring. You can panic, tense up, rush the hug and break the moment. Or you can exhale. You can read her rhythm. You can hold her calmly, half a second longer than expected. You can let her go gently, then look her in the eyes with quiet confidence. Which version do you think she'll replay in her head? Exactly. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about being so aware of it that you know how to guide it. Gently, intentionally, powerfully. So when you hug her, don't ask, "How do I get her to like me?" Ask instead, How can I make her feel safe, seen, and emotionally nourished in this moment? Because when a woman feels that with you, even for a few seconds, she won't just remember you. She'll feel you long after you're gone. And that's the kind of man who leaves a mark. Part 4. Emotional presence, the secret ingredient. So we've talked about the types of hugs, but now, let's talk about something far more important than how you hug her. It's how you show up emotionally when you do it. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. You can do everything right physically, right pressure, right timing, right body language. But if your mind is somewhere else, she'll feel it. And the hug, it'll fall flat. We live in a world full of distractions, notifications, deadlines, insecurities, expectations. Most people are constantly thinking about something else, even when they're holding someone. And that's why so many hugs feel empty. But you're going to be different. You're going to master what most men overlook: emotional presence. Let me break that down. Emotional presence is when your mind, your body, and your heart are in the same place. Right here, right now. It's when you're not worrying about what happens next, you're not calculating your next move, you're just there, fully, with her. Let me give you a quick real-world example. You're hugging a woman you care about. Maybe she just had a rough day. Maybe she's vulnerable. You could say all the right things. Don't worry, it'll be okay. I'm here for you. But if your energy feels rushed, distracted, or emotionally distant, those words become noise. Now imagine you say nothing at all, but you hold her like you've got nowhere else to be. You breathe deeply and slowly, letting her feel your calm. You don't pull away too fast, you don't fidget. You just exist in that space with her. That speaks louder than 1,000 words. That is emotional presence. And believe me, women feel it. They may not always articulate it, but they know the difference between a man who's physically close and a man who's emotionally available. And you know what's even more powerful? Emotional presence is magnetic, because in a world where everyone is distracted, the person who is fully present stands out. She'll think about you, not because of something you said, but because of how she felt in your arms. She'll remember that rare, quiet safety, that I can exhale here kind of energy, and she'll come back not because you chased, but because you anchored her. This is what Stoicism is really about. It's not emotionless. It's mastery of emotion. It's the ability to remain grounded in the middle of chaos. To feel deeply without being overwhelmed. To connect fully without losing yourself. So, the next time you hug her, ask yourself, am I really here? Am I giving her my full presence? Am I letting her feel emotionally safe with me? Because that, more than technique, charm, or effort, is what makes a hug unforgettable. Part 5. The power of letting go. Now here's something that almost no one talks about, but it matters just as much as the hug itself. It's the way you let go. You see, most guys are so focused on making the hug feel good in the moment that they completely forget how it ends is what lingers. Let me say that again. A hug is remembered not just by how it starts, but by how it finishes. Why? Because the moment you pull away is the moment the energy either fades or leaves her wondering, what just happened? Let's get real for a second. You've probably experienced this. Someone hugs you and they let go too quickly, like they're rushing off. What did it feel like? Empty, distant, maybe even a little cold. And then there's the opposite. Someone hugs you and they hold on too long. It starts to feel clingy, awkward, overbearing. So what's the balance? You have to read the moment. Letting go is not about timing in seconds, it's about timing in energy. Here's a great example. You're hugging her goodbye after a beautiful evening. There was connection, laughter, maybe even some vulnerability. As the hug happens, you sense her arms relax around you, her breathing slows, she's clearly present. Now here's where most guys mess up. They get nervous and pull away first, abruptly, and way too soon. And boom, the connection drops. It's like slamming the brakes on a beautiful song. But if you just pause, Breathe with her. Wait for that tiny shift in her energy. Maybe she pulls back just slightly or loosens her grip. Then you let go. That's emotional rhythm. That's mastery. And here's something powerful to add. When you let go, do it with care. Don't just drop your arms and look away. Instead, release slowly. Let your hands gently part from her back or arms. Maybe smile at her or hold eye contact for a brief second. What you're saying without saying it is, I valued this moment. It's classy, it's confident, and it's unforgettable. This is Stoicism in practice. Letting go with intention, with grace, without clinging. Stoic men don't hold on out of fear. They hold space and then let go with clarity. Because when you can let go at the right time, you leave her feeling full. Not rushed, not abandoned, but emotionally satisfied. And here's the truth. A great hug doesn't leave her wanting more of the hug. It leaves her wanting more of you. So next time you're in that moment, right at the edge of letting go, pause, feel, respond with presence. That last second of the hug, it might just be the one she remembers most. So, let's bring it all together. We started with a simple question. Can a hug really make her think about you all day? And by now, you know the answer isn't just yes, it's absolutely. But only when it's done with intention, with presence, with emotional clarity. You've seen how different types of hugs send different messages, how common mistakes can silently sabotage connection, and how the smallest moments, a pause, a breath, the way you let go, can leave a lasting impression that words alone never could. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being aware. It's about showing up not just physically, but emotionally. And that, my friend, is rare. That is magnetic. Because in a world full of distractions and shallow touch, the person who knows how to connect deeply, even in a few silent seconds, that's the person she won't forget. So whether it's your first hug or your 100th, remember this. Don't hug to impress. Hug to connect. Hug like a man who is present. Hug like a man who isn't afraid to feel. Hug like someone who knows that stillness is strength. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If something in this video made you pause, made you feel seen, or gave you a new way to show up in your own relationships, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Let me know what part of this message spoke to you most. And if you want more grounded, emotionally aware, and Stoic-inspired content like this, feel free to hit that button. Maybe even subscribe if you'd like to keep exploring this journey together. No pressure, just do what feels right. Until next time, stay present, stay grounded, and remember, one small moment of connection can echo all day long.